Gentlemen, let's get into the big news segments of this past week, of which there are still many, and a lot of them all tie back to the same parent company. Um, so before we get into that particular thing, the thing that they don't want to talk about clearly because we moved right past it. What do you guys feel about Call of Duty taking this almost Fortnite approach to their skins and guest characters in games? We're getting the Ninja Turtles in Call of Duty.
Scrambling.
You think so?
Yeah.
That has to be.
Honestly, bro, the Call of Duty formula has been falling apart. It's like, no offense. And I know the viewers probably might think I'm crazy, but to be honest, bro, I stopped at Black Ops 1.
Me too. Actually, no, I played Modern Warfare 3. I lied.
Committed wise, because that's when I made the transition to Battlefield. But the last one that I officially played was Modern Warfare 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I was just like, I paid a little bit of the campaign, and that was just it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't return back to it. And seeing how it's been changing over the years, like this is the burnout of a yearly title.
Yeah,
it's like you're just running out of things to do, bro. And then now you have all this quirkiness in it that is just like, bro, this. You can't. And I know people's like, oh, but then this is the evolution of the series. Like, no, it's not. Every change is not evolution, bro.
Right.
Every piece of change is not evolution, and every piece of change is not good. This is just showing that, in order to make money, pop culture. And this is one of the things why I really don't really like pop culture, because there's just some things that you just throw pop culture onto it that just does not fit the narrative and the universe that you fit in. Now you just got all this random stuff. Like when Call of Duty started charging for like skins and stuff like that, I was like, bro, what happened to national progression?
Yep.
Like you mean to tell me I just can't get like 500 in-game credits and just buy this? It's like, no, like, oh, this is a whole separate DLC pack that I gotta pay actual money for.
Yeah, and even some of the things that seemed cool at the time, like for me, I was all for their like stage changing mechanics, like when they did the Godzilla Kong crossover last game of like, okay, you're fighting on this like raft as King Kong's escaping or whatever, and it could be used as like a kill streak perk. I'm like, that's innovative. I like that. Playing as Nicki Minaj is not innovative. Like that's not when I playing as Homelander is not innovative. It's
with
Fortnite. With a gun.
Crazy. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, I just think it's a CEO on a Segway just going through the office cubicles, looking at what people was doing, and just saying, hey, why isn't Nicki Minaj in this?
Listen, the only time that ever worked was for Tekken Tag 2 when they gave Snoop Dogg that stage. I was like, it was just a stage.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo going to be in that next SNK game. So
the way it's looking. Yeah.
Hey, hey, let me play this fighting game because my favorite soccer player is in this.
Right? How does that sound in a marketing pitch to anybody? I was on the fence about this FIFA related content, but it's who? Oh yeah, no, I got.
What's his gameplay going to be like? Yeah. Like, the day I show Speedy's a DLC character, I'm like, man,
him and Casanat, bro.
Yeah, like,
tag team mechanics.
Like, okay, put him in wrestling. I'll take that.
Yeah,
WWE Entertainment.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But other than that, man, I think Call of Duty's just scrambling. Like they for whatever reason, it's just a cash grab. They feel like they need to do more. If it stayed military base, that makes more sense. But like, okay, maybe a famous streamer that specifically plays that Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that. But like, Nicki Minaj, Pete Davidson,
21 Savage,
21 Savage, Young Thug, like, no, man.
Right.
Lil Wayne.
Right.
I don't care.
And they might play these games, but I don't know because they've never told me. So why would I want to see? Why would I want to play as them? With no disrespect to them, it's like, why would I want to, as a game player, want to play as a celebrity? It doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess the long story short, like, salute to Ninja Turtles to getting their name out there, because Lord knows they seem like they're collaborating with any and everybody these days. And I'm not mad at it. I'm glad to see more attempt to get the brand out there, but I'm just like, at some point, quality control got to step in. The Street Fighter skins was already a stretch, my guy. Like, y'all just putting turtles with everything.
Give us a game in collaboration with IDW Comics. That's all we want. That's all we want.
Why would I give that to you, Tim?
Yeah,
it makes sense. Give us our 2 to 4 player co-op game.
Why would I give that to you, Tim?
Why? And like my whole thing is like, you guys did this to yourselves. You spammed every Call of Duty imaginable. The day Battlefield decides to come back to its glory, Kerput. Kerput.
If they can figure out that Voltron setup they have for the next game, boy.
You're gonna see all 3 of us. Hey, come in. Hey, Tim, you on the chopper, Tim? Hey, you got the turret? All right, let's go.
Right.
You see all 3 of us. I just think a lot of you don't have the right people in management anymore, and a lot of them are like, what's this for? I'm stepping down. I'm gonna retire, or I'm leaving. I'm just gonna start my own company from scratch. We'll make money, and we'll have games that are super manageable. Simple indie game, and call it a day. I just personally don't understand. Call of Duty is basically just running out of ideas.
Yeah, it's right up there with like the yearly sports titles, where like clearly there's something that's starting to lose ground here. They won't admit it, right? We won't know about it until like it's too far deep to go back. But I'm like, clearly you guys are losing your stranglehold on this yearly turnaround. People are starting to be like, especially given the economy where people's wallets are tightening up, like, why would I get 2K26 again? 2K25 is still not patched. I think I'll hold on. Like we're starting to see that now, and it's just like, yo, these big companies, you gotta open your eyes, yo. Open your eyes. You are literally like in your attempt to chase the short-term dollar, you're burning.
For me, like the only thing I could think of is just there's no creatives around them, and they feel like they're using automated systems to answer human beings' desires. Like, like if that's what you're doing, you're finished. They did this before. This is not the first time. People try to predict the market all the time, and then when it doesn't do what it wants, fire department, the fire alarm's going off, and it's just like, okay.
And meanwhile, the smoke detectors was there the entire time. Here's all these things you could have fixed. You could have prevented this. But
and then
speaking of things that could have been fixed, it's a perfect segue into the next big news. PSN went down for about just over 24 hours, and we did not get a blog post about it being down until it was back. So, keeping one of these trends, I'm not letting people know what's going on. What do you guys thoughts about PSN going down, and where is my free game?
Yeah, honestly, man, it's not gonna happen.
I was really honestly, man, I was very happy for Sony during the PS4 era. I kind of felt like they righted a lot of wrongs, and they were very focused. But I kind of feel that due to the shifts in this gaming economy, their heads have shifted again, and now they're really adopting like this Apple monopoly type of mindset, and now they're just becoming very cold, very, very cold. Like that was very serious, bro. Like, because you got to realize, bro, there's an era of people, and we're a part of that, who have been scarred by that. It's like, yo, is this a hack?
Yep.
You didn't provide
PTSD flared up immediately.
you didn't provide no type of feedback, no type of like awareness about the situation, because luckily for me, I don't keep my card attached. Whenever I make a purchase, as soon as I'm done, I delete it. But then there are people like, no, they don't live left over. There's some people who have such brand loyalty, they'll keep their credit card attached to their PSN account.
Yeah. For me, I do have my credit card, but it's my credit card of like where I can say, hey. That wasn't me. Matter of fact, let's just delete the whole month and play it safe.
But yeah, like it's tough, man. And then of course, I mean, of course, yeah, people got over it because luckily it didn't last over a day. Because that would have been scary. Because I remember the PlayStation Outage. Bro, how long did that last?
It was just under a month. Just under a month.
Oh, that was. Whew.
You turn your PS3 on, nothing. All right, give it a couple more days. Cut it back on, nothing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they're giving you 5 free days. PlayStation user.
5 free days? No. Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's.
I guess
it depends.
It's better than nothing. Like I'm not gonna say that to be like negative, but like to be fair, for 24 hours.
For 24 hours, okay.
They didn't have to give us anything.
Back in time.
Yeah. Like they didn't have to give us anything to be fair. But it's just like I think my whole thing was like Tim said. I think we're starting to see this new era of Sony where it's just like, yo, where is the communication? Yo, where are like the active updates? I'm not saying it has to be a conversation between you and your fan base, but like, hey, here's what's happening. We'll have an update for you as soon as we can. Hey, here's what's going on. We're expect like even with the PSN going back up, it just started like I think Tim, you hit the chat of like people's accounts are starting to go back online. It's like Sony, where was y'all at? Like where was y'all saying like, hey guys, things should be restored right about now? Like it was like we finding out in Reddits and Discords and peer groups of like this $1 billion company server is back up and running. Is wild. It's wild. But I think that it was worth talking about because it then ties in, of course, to Sony's state of play this past week. Now, I've had some time to sit and think about it. I do want to walk back a little bit of my harshness towards the state of play. I think in regards to, again, speaking of communication or lack thereof, had Sony kind of gotten ahead of it and said like, hey, do not expect to see these games there, it makes the state of play a lot more enjoyable in comparison. Because for me, while I enjoyed a lot of the IPs that were announced, and of course we're going to kind of go into them, I kept waiting for the big first party announcement, like the big one, right? Like here for the first time ever, the gameplay exclusive of whatever it is, maybe like something that we're all like, hit the group, you know, like it never happened. But that
Blood Dawn, the game,
you know, it's just like, but I think that's something where it's like that could have been prevented had they just been like, hey, this is like, for example, we knew that we weren't getting Death Stranding because they're like, yo, Kojima's having his own South by Southwest event in like 2 weeks. You're not getting a trailer. Like it was like that was like 2 + 2 = 4. You're not getting anything Kojima produced at this state of play. But I'm like, okay, keep that go. Are we seeing Insomniac? Like, is the whole thing? Are you guys doing this to try to keep us tuned in? Like, what is the thing here that like? Why do you guys feel like playing it vague and allowing expectations to like shoot through the roof? How does this help y'all? What are your guys' thoughts?
To be honest, bro, I kind of feel like it goes back to where companies have cut back on marketing, where they just want us to build a hype in the news for them. Because when we really look at it, it has worked in their favor. Because like in terms of content creators or people just who want to stream in general, like you've turned people into something that they never probably even would have thought about. Now, in terms of, you know, for me, you know, you launched this new system that you are obviously trying to sell, because I do feel like the wave of the people who are just brand loyalists have already gotten it. Scalpers have already gotten it. They probably have got their money already. All right, so moving forward, how do you push these new systems? And I kind of feel like you're not really releasing anything that people want to say like, oh, I need to get this for PlayStation Pro. And, you know, I do feel like, you know, that's where your first party titles come in. Like, yes, you did show us a first party title, but I do feel like it's from one of this. No, I'll give them their credit.
They showed us a few.
Housemarque is a great studio. I will give them their flowers. They have created some very phenomenal games that are different, I would say. But then, you know, Sony has, and I kind of think Sony has like marketed this way, like our big, like in a sense, like an anime, like a big three. Your Naughty Dogs, your Insomniacs, and who's the other one? Sucker Punch. And it's like, you know, because Sucker Punch is the only one that has really showed us something as of recent. And, you know, especially with the whole contrast with Assassin's Creed, a lot of people were expecting that. What is the gameplay of this going to look like? And I was like, okay, nothing Japan over here. Okay. And it was just kind of like, okay, that was very interesting.
But I guess to be fair, like, do you feel like, say for example, they had done Ghost of Yotei gameplay? Do you think that would have made the showcase better for you, like by default, or not necessarily?
It would have stepped it up a grade.
Okay.
Overall, I gave it a 7. I gave it a 7 out of 10. There were some interesting third parties that they showed. I liked the presentation of how they showed them, but I just kind of felt like, bro, as a company that really barks at you about their exclusivity, where was it? Where was it?
Yeah. Even some of the announcements, like I did think it was weird that like we got the showcase and then afterwards got a blog post that we're getting more DLC for Astrobot. I'm like, you didn't think that your Game Award winning game deserved its own slot during the state of play?
Again, guys, I don't think these gentlemen understand, or like
it would have been cool to see an Astrobot trailer and whoever these 5 new mystery characters are going to be.
Right. I just thought that was so weird.
They're not aware of. Yeah, I'm telling you, the person that's in charge of this at the board or staff meetings, they're not people that play. They don't understand what games are. And so they just use a sheet. They probably just use a chart and like, okay, let's do this. We did an AI search of the most popular games on the web that people are playing. And this is what we found out. Oh, so people want a game to where you can play as a female lady, a female, and you're in the future with dinosaurs that are mechanical. Yeah. Okay. And with this game, is it open world? Okay, it's open world. And they just continue, and it's just like, okay, nobody wants this. It's a cool idea, but nobody wants this. And they're just not connected to what people want. They're unaware of what people actually want.
I don't know if they're unaware. I feel like it's more so like they're out of date, if that makes sense. Like, what to me is like when I kept seeing, and it was, to be fair, it wasn't a lot of the games in the showcase, but when I keep seeing games where it's like we only have a CGI trailer, it's like in 2025, like I get that like Saros, I guess, is the spiritual successor of Returnal 2, but I'm like, it was literally a pre-rendered trailer. We know nothing of the gameplay. We know nothing. Like,
was I making myself clear or no?
Because I feel like you're saying like they're trying to like predict what we want. I'm like, it's not that I think they know what we want, but the presentation of it is lacking. At least that's how I interpret it.
No, but how do you? Okay, so then how do you notice something like? How do you not notice that people are asking for Resistance 4? How do you not notice that people are? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but are people asking for Resistance 4? I don't think that's the case.
I think it is, but I believe the people feel like, yo, this is dead. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have any hope to even muster energy to even ask for that. But now it's starting. You gave us how many? I knew Days Gone was coming. I knew it. I knew it. And the graphical difference is how much? I knew Days Gone
with that, because first of all, it's kind of really showing me the laziness. So instead of just patching the original game that you have now that people have bought, downloaded and done hours and hours of playtime, uploaded to Facebook and all that other stuff, because I've seen them horde mode videos almost every other day. So instead of updating it, you just rather do a copy and paste digitally and on a disc and say, oh yeah, it's coming with these new enhanced photo mode, or a permadeath mode, or this and that. Is like, no, we don't want that.
A co-op component would have been nice. That would have helped a lot.
But then my thing about it was like, there was this whole discourse back with them, like Sony denied us a second one. But I was like, you would put all these resources to a remake, a copy and paste with like 2 to 3 editions, but not a sequel from a studio that has been dormant since Days Gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, so you mean to tell me, and this is where my real beef with Sony is, you went so ham with like acquiring all these different studios to make this a team, this Justice Unlimited team of studios. We ain't gonna talk about one because we already know what happened to them. So this is what the rest of your team is doing. Sony been a great studio, by the way.
Yeah,
and this is just resorting them to. Just so they basically made the same game twice.
And the thing is that people actually like Days Gone. Like, I know like people who are like really enjoyed that game. So like it's weird when it's like you see something like that. It's like you guys, again, I guess to Jory's point, it's like you guys are acknowledging that people are interested in this, but you're not gonna actually try. You're just gonna add a paint job to it and be like, well, if you guys support this game, maybe you'll bring back Days Gone too. Maybe.
It's not, for me, it's not even that. It's just like, oh, what's the point of these consoles? And what are you guys how are you gonna sell us the new consoles this time around? Like, what's gonna be there? I see no momentum. Ghost of Yote, how many times are you gonna sell us that? And to be honest with you, I don't think you should even tease those games yet. From the way this console generation is gone or going or heading to, what's the point? Why should I even show you that? This state of play, it should have been, hey guys, this is going to be a state of play. Keep expectations mild. That's it. And then even relying on people doing the advertising for you, you're still wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're still wrong. That's not what it's supposed to do. That should be like the bottom of the level, because that's just a different form of how word of mouth used to be. Now, you're lucky that now word of mouth now just happens to be on a YouTube video where people can watch it over and over again.
Right.
It should not be man, we don't have to do it. Other people will do it for us. That's that's not how it works. You're going actually backwards when they've already solved this. You continue to advertise. I'm not saying go crazy and turn the entire Manhattan subway station into a Spider-Man ad where I'm not telling you to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you to continue to push your product and then let that be an add-on to people pushing your product out even further. It should have never been like, if a movie's good, let them word of mouth do it. You know what I'm saying? After people watch it. If a game's good, let the people who purchase the game campaign for the game versus, oh, we're just gonna yeah, let's just get the hype build up. They're gonna really believe this is gonna be a best one and we're gonna get all the advertisement we need. No, half of those games were third party.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of something that Tim said many pods ago when he was like, these companies now are relying too heavily on the content creators to do their advertising for them. Like, they don't want to market their games anymore. It's like, we're going to do these things. We'll let the heavy hitters do like a behind the scenes 7-minute preview where they'll make 45 different videos and that'll be it. We won't do anything. We won't announce anything. We won't like offer a feature. None of it. We'll just, hey, let your let your favorite content creator break down why this game is going to be awesome if and when it comes out.
Yeah, and especially being the first state of play of the year, especially how things ended last year, I just kind of felt this state of play should have been first party focused.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it should have all right, what? Especially after how you brought out this new system and then the attachments and all that other stuff, we've gotten past that hurdle, I guess. What are you doing to really keep this momentum for that? Because, I'll be honest with you, bro, Metal Gear Solid Delta is not doing it for me.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go.
There was some good third parties. I will definitely give them some credit where it was due. Like Tales of the Tides.
I was gonna say let's go through some of the games that were announced and we'll just give our quick thoughts on. Unless something had more thoughts. Do we have anything to say about Borderlands 4?
No. And the simple fact that they're trying to release it at the same time as Grand Theft Auto, bro, that's very bold.
Yeah, I'm like, they must know something that we don't. Like he on that screen like, hey guys, I know y'all are waiting for. I'm like, Are we waiting?
No,
Are we waiting for it?
hey, listen, we just didn't see it. Okay,
another
we
looter
just
shooter
didn't
where
see
you're
it.
just gonna have two to
We just didn't
three
see it.
story
You feel me?
expansions.
We just didn't see it.
I'm like, they
We
must know
just
something
didn't
that
see
we
it.
don't, yo.
No,
Like,
no,
I
no.
don't.
Again, Ant, we just didn't see it. We just didn't see it. The guy was invisible. Invisible gunman right behind, buddy. Listen.
You
Oh
better
no,
smell your way to this drill. I don't care what the movie reviews were like.
Amanda Waller got a device attached to the back of his head. You familiar with Suicide Squad? And I'm like, yeah, you better sell this game, boy.
That's
Come on, like there's no way. And then like I knew this game. I knew Borderlands was in a bad spot when I saw the cast for the movie.
Yeah, because honestly, bro, I feel like the series peaked with 2 and it's just plateaued ever since.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I get too. Of like, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, but I just don't think it's growing. It's not getting better as a franchise.
Because I know they did a pre-sequel. The Telltale games, those Borderland games, those were pretty good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Tales of the Borderlands. I played the first one. I haven't played the second one yet, but that was pretty good to me. But I just kind of felt like all the pre-sequel that they released, and then Borderlands 3 and all those other side stories, I just kind of felt like it was just too much clutter.
Right.
Too much clutter. And then you brought back now a hard staple 4. And it's like, and then I get it, these are 2 different properties, but I kind of feel like Suicide Squad just kind of really hurt the genre itself, the looter shooter genre.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels like it's just all about, and especially in this day and age now, when these developers are just milking you, it kind of just feels more about how can we get some money out of people versus substance. Because when you say Borderlands to me, all I'm thinking about is like 15 DLC packs, character skins, gun skins.
Which they may not do, but to your point, Tim, is like we've been subjected to so much like obvious greed. It's like they might, right? Like I think that's the thing that always gets a little like discouraging for us as like longtime gamers. Of like, we've seen that no company seems to be exempt from just like, we want to empty your wallets as much as humanly possible, even at the danger of our own IP. So, I'd say Borderlands 4 respectfully has an uphill battle. And I think that's the consensus we all have of like, I don't think it's gonna necessarily be bad, but I still don't see anything of like, yeah, you guys got one, especially in the year of a Grand Theft Auto 6.
I was very surprised at the level of quality for the Sonic racing game. I feel like they've made a lot of good, brave, but also very thoughtful decisions, because they fuse basically components from all the last games and even the hoverboard game Riders.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay. And then you could tell that they're trying to use, I guess, some of the gimmicks from the movie where a ring comes up and it just takes you to an alternate world and stuff like that. And I even saw somebody on Twitter talked about like they call it like a warp topaz, where it could send you to different dimensions. And they said that was in the comics. So I actually want to look that up, because maybe that's a good tie-in. Because I was kind of feeling like, bro, like Sega has been doing some real good stuff with Sonic. Like I kind of felt when I saw the recent announcement, I was like, that's a little odd. But I was like, you know what, let me show some faith. And I think they're still trying to keep, because obviously there is a market for this game. There are people who enjoy these titles. So I'm thinking like, all right, what is the effort that they're putting behind it that they want to keep you in that Sonic momentum? And I feel like this is a good game to actually do that.
I thought, my quick thoughts on this, I just thought that I'm like, these seem like some very interesting mechanics that are going to be a hard sell outside of a diehard Sonic audience, because you immediately in your mind say like, half of these characters can get out of these cars and lap the world in the time it takes to go down this track. And I think that's something that Sonic has always kind of struggled with when it comes to competitive anything, right? Competitive racing, especially. Like, why would I put the fastest creature in this world into a car?
I said the same thing years ago when I played Sonic Riders, but then I was like, you know what? That's why I said to myself, all right, let me turn my head off and just enjoy the entertainment that there was.
What's the snowboarding one? That one I'll take.
Sonic Riders, what he said.
Sonic Riders, yeah, that's fine. I think that makes more sense. Okay, Sonic on a snowboard and the rest of them on a snowboard. It's hoverboard. Okay, they're all obviously playing the competition.
They brought this into this. Like I said, that's why I said the smart decisions. Like you have the kart racing, but then they also have different sets of vehicles. So like because honestly, bro, like the villains that they introduce in those Sonic Riders games, they're still some of my favorite. They're not really villains, but like they're like, but yeah, like if you see them, like yeah, we beef from time to time. Like the Babylon Rogues, the birds. So, like I said, man, I do feel like this is a good step in the future to keep Sonic fans happy. Because when I really look at the Shadow game, and this is something that I agree with you at. Like, yes, it was a good revisit to the Sonic. I would say the boost formula, the generations formula. But then, yes, the Shadow storyline is only going to hold some people for so long.
Right.
We've already released the movie DLC, which was basically a skin and a helicopter battle. Done. So, like, we are pretty much done with the game. So, what is it with this? Especially as Sega is really trying to keep as much momentum as possible, and I'm really thankful for that. So. They're trying to say, like, all right, well, how do I hold these? Especially since it's one of the pillars to our entire company. How do we keep them happy? And I feel like this is a good middle ground.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm more so glad that someone's at least throwing their hat in the ring when it comes to competing with Mario Kart. Right? I think Mario Kart had the monopoly over your IP in a race car franchise. Like, does no good for anybody. So I'm glad that Sega at least is like, hey, we'll give it a go. We'll try again. We will.
And I think this is their third one too.
Yeah, so I guess in your terms of like turning your head off, like that's kind of where I'm at too. Of like, hey, we're not getting any more crashing racing. There's no more Diddy Kong racing or anything like that. If you got to put Sonic in the convertible, okay, let's see what happens. Do you have any thoughts about Yakuza and Dave the Diver having a crossover?
Okay.
I feel like I'm like, is Dave the Diver like this? Am I missing something as a gamer? Like, is Dave the Diver like?
We are missing something, man.
Right? Like they had a crossover with Godzilla, now a crossover with Yakuza. I'm like, is this like just like the game I've been sleeping on? Like, I don't understand what is it that everyone keeps like? Yeah, we would love to collaborate with you.
Yeah,
I think it's just one of those quirky titles where it's just there for the pure insanity of it.
Okay, like Goat Simulator.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes it works for certain things because, like, for example, you can kind of really look at it as like, look how Fortnite. Oh, we're gonna bring so and so to Fortnite, and I feel like that's so
Sub-Zero.
Yes,
bro.
But then apparently it works for them. Apparently it works.
MK4 Sub-Zero.
It's a DLC, so. I mean, I'm very happy to see Digimon games back.
Yeah, I know, right?
No,
it's ridiculous.
My next topic was Digimon, but just in terms of like crossover, I'm like, man, okay. I remember a time, and I'm about to date myself again. I remember a time when having Sub-Zero and NBA Jam was considered quote unquote controversial, but a game for the kids. Hey, Sub-Zero is about as family friendly as you can get these days, right? It's like
quietly,
sure,
Sub-Zero.
Sure. But yeah, Digimon, right? So as y'all know,
the chiropractor, Sub-Zero, crazy dog. Hey kids, you want to know his signature move?
You ever seen a spine separated from his body? But yeah,
just
Digimon.
Like removing gum from the bottom of your shoe.
It's all in the technique, all in the reverse.
God, it's tough.
But yeah, Digimon getting a new game, its first big console game in about close to a decade. At least that's getting a worldwide release. And you guys both know I have a love-hate relationship with Digimon, like I do with most of the things that I enjoy, because I seem to love things where they don't give me what I want ever. And with this game, I think Jory, you had hit the chat of like, am I excited? And like, I'm about as neutral on this as I am with most Digimon things. Like most of the cool things that they done with Digimon, it is different. And I think
that's all I'm saying. It's different.
I think like Digimon, just like a lot of these other properties that we've enjoyed, is like it's another one of those things where like they know there's gold here, but they're not really willing to put in the work. You know, of like, okay, you guys want to do all this Digimon adventure related stuff, but half of it never comes to America. You have season 2, which people like, and you keep giving them the short end of the stick. Why does Davis always get the worst movies? You know, like why don't you, like you're gonna redub and reboot the adventure series and make it the Ty and Matt show?
For me, you like looking at Digimon, you could honestly like take Persona and just do that with Digimon, and it'll work.
Yeah, the premise. Yeah,
and it's just like nobody has an imagination.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. Just with creativity now. But yeah.
It's like the simplest. Like here's the simplest solution. Yeah, I don't want to take that. What's the most complex thing you could do? It's like, but just do this. Just do this one. Just do this one. Like you reboot the anime and give everyone their mega forms in the series, but you still make it the Ty and Matt show. Why? You're doing these adventure-based things. They released a game. I'll never forget. They released a game on PSP that recapped the original season 1 from beginning to end. You played as all 8 Digidestined up until the defeat of Apocalypse, and it never got released outside of Japan. Never.
But you did a theatrical release outside of Japan,
right?
Again, like we can keep continue. We just had some. We were just scratching our heads last week. Daima. So why are we surprised?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I am happy to see hack and slash games like making a very strong comeback. Like Lost Souls aside.
Does Lost Souls aside look good to y'all? There's a little bit of jank there that I can't quite put my finger on.
I mean, it's one guy. It's one guy who made the
I can tell. So. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
it kind of reminds me of like them old
Evil West jank.
It's good jank.
Does it remind you of what, Tim?
It kind of reminds me of like them old Final Fantasy movies that they released on Blu-ray way back in the day. Like you could tell, like, all right, this is an interesting techno magic world.
But don't say that Final Fantasy that dropped in the 2000s.
No, he's saying it's the avid children of gaming. Where it's
it looks like it.
You enjoy what you're looking at, but if you think about the story for half a second, you're like, this is really bad.
Yeah, like, it looks like that. But then I'm interested to see what it looks like. I am interested.
No, me too. It just looked a little janky.
Tides of Annihilation. And of course, I guess, when it comes to Capcom, Onimusha, I'm glad Capcom is really pushing this product too. I'm very happy.
Are you guys looking forward to Onimusha though? Like that's the question.
I am.
Okay.
And to be honest,
I said absolutely not.
I have not purchased a Capcom game in years, bro. You already know why.
Tim, you on your own island with that one. Actually, they want me back with the Capcom Fighting Collection.
The last one that I bought for them was Street Fighter V.
What? You draw the line with Street Fighter 5, but won't get the Capcom? Okay, all right.
No. I'm gonna get the Fighting Collection when it goes on sale. But
you better get that hard copy, boy, because when they go out, Capcom gonna be like
retirement, bro. Retirement. Okay. My mind is already made up.
Okay.
I mean, retirement's fine, but getting a copy in retirement is gonna be
then, to be honest, I do plan on selling my system after a while.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like I said, when I say retirement means I'm letting go.
Okay.
I'm just gonna enjoy my backlog season, use it for the Blu-ray player as much as possible, and then just be gone with it.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the universe. I like how it's building up. It's on my watch list to watch the anime on Netflix to see like how much of the universe I actually want to invest in. But depending on if I see like 2 to 3 more trailers, it's definitely not a day one for me, but it is something that I would probably want to invest in.
Okay. So you say you had no anticipation for Onimusha. Why?
It's just the I guess it wasn't what I expected it to be, as far as how it looks very slow. As far as um,
It's a work in
this,
development.
it looks very slow. I didn't think it to be. I didn't find it to. It's actually more jokey, comical than on certain parts.
I was
So
surprised about that. I was like, this character.
I'm like, this is Miyoto Musashi, the legendary samurai who defeated 70 men in combat. In the yeah, somebody you sure you want it? You sure? Because I'm looking for full. I'm in my head. I'm expecting Jubei. I'm expecting, some an edgelord. But this, I'm like, oh, okay. Is Ono behind this?
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, you already saw what happened with Street Fighter 4, and 5, and so
More Blanca, more
um,
Blanca, more Blanca.
so yeah, I'm not actually. I was actually excited, and I'm not as excited anymore. So it's
Really?
just yeah,
I mean, I
not
thought
as
the
excited
environmental
anymore.
elements of the gameplay was kind of interesting. Like, I hope there's more of that in the game. That could it
Oh,
just anything that pulls from sleeping dogs. I'm like, yes, please do more of this. Come on.
hey, hey, listen. There's other games that already got my attention, so I guess this didn't draw me to it.
Mm.
So I'll just leave it there.
Okay, that's fair. Are we having any type of interesting thoughts on what was the game I saw? Shinobi getting another game, Art of Vengeance,
But no, that's good. That's perfect.
made from the Streets of Rage 4
Nice.
developers.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I
that
said,
was,
okay.
that was interesting.
Perfect.
Because it's cool.
Perfect.
Like they've done such a good reputation. Like as of now, like whenever you just see that name, it's like okay, I am watching.
Yeah, and it looks
Yeah,
great.
perfect.
It looked great.
Perfect.
Like the trailer, I was like, wow, this is
And
okay.
then Ninja Gaiden's also releasing their own side scroller.
Yeah.
I think the that's just perfect,
Yeah,
man.
I feel like that genre is really in good hands. I mean, yeah, the last one, Power Rangers, was kind of like very mid.
I still am so disappointed with that, bro. I
Yeah.
can't believe they
So, and
phoned it in.
you could tell they just dropped it too because I
Yeah.
haven't seen. I was like, bro,
What?
no updates whatsoever.
Ain't nobody setting controls to outer space in this one, man. So
At all.
It's like,
nobody's flying higher than ever before.
at the end of the day, bro, not everybody got the No Man's Sky's heart.
Yeah, but it's just like
Yeah.
I guess
Nah,
like,
you
going
can't
back to
No
our theme,
Man's
it's
Sky
just,
that.
yeah, it's just like it's
Yeah, it's
Power
done.
Rangers.
It's
like
done,
it's
bro.
not
That should have been. That should have been.
off
was a
the
big
backboard.
It was a big fumble for me. It was a big fumble for me because the last thing that they did with the Power Rangers IP was that fighting game, and honestly, that game was going like people was
Into
loving
the
it.
grid?
Yeah.
People was loving the build.
It got there apparently. Yeah, like eventually it got to the point people were like, this is really good.
It was like a multiverse game of all the different generations, and then you pick one person from
Just
here.
can't tell who's who.
Because I remember one time they did the Black Ranger, but they picked Adam and they picked him in his ninja form. And I was like, that's very interesting that they picked him in the ninja costume.
Trash.
But
Trash. Good. It's
I
unique.
just-
It's unique, but
I just didn't know who was who, dog.
Tim, you didn't want to see Ninjetti Adam fight a full-on Power Ranger. Let's be for real. Fight Tommy with the powers of the Green Ranger and White Ranger fused together. You didn't want to see that.
no, when I said it was interesting, I thought it was interesting because of aesthetic, because of
There's a
course,
Power Ranger like that?
because of
Yeah.
course, because you remember they never gave them like animal
Crazy.
costumes based off their animals during that time. Like they didn't get the frog, they didn't get the ape and stuff like that. So you're looking at somebody, oh yeah, the frog, but then you got a mastodon costume.
Helmet on.
Lazy
boy.
Yes. And that's why I said I felt like that, choosing that aesthetic was very interesting because now you made it relevant in a sense.
Yeah. To me, like, there's certain things that when it comes to certain IP, I'm
Once
like,
you brought in Ryu and Chun Li,
I mean, you got to bring in Ryu and Chun Li.
Yeah.
Come on now, Tim. You gotta bring in Ryu and Chun Li.
Oh man,
Bro, I am
was hilarious.
so done with guest characters, bro.
Yeah, and if they're not around, then Ken and Cammy. Like, come on, man. Like,
Ken and Chun-Li, let that be it, bro. I don't want to see another guest character for another 2 years, bro.
Man, I don't need another Saruk in anything. Like, please. I'm trying to see. Tim, tell us all your thoughts about Grand Theft Auto Cyberpunk. And you know what's crazy? What's crazy is Mind's Eye is actually developed by one of the original producers of Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, he started his own company.
It has potential.
That's why it looks like that.
It has potential. It has potential. I'm not going to shoot it down. Like, you definitely can see the references. You definitely can. That's why I remember I even said it too, like Grand Theft Auto Cyberpunk.
With a little bit of driver sprinkled in.
No, it could work, but it gotta look more.
Do you know what's so funny?
It looked
interesting.
But you know what's so funny? A lot of people, especially after watching the anime Edge Runners, a lot of people are looking for more something of that style.
So to your point, I agree with you. I don't think when I saw the trailer, I'm like, I don't think it looks bad. I just thought it looked okay. Everything looked, like everything just looked simply okay.
You didn't like give us a premise of the story,
right?
We just like, oh, who is this guy? This guy doesn't look cool enough for me to be in this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. And then the only gameplay you show is him ducking around a car and shooting, like I can do in Grand Theft Auto.
How is this going to keep up with the obvious elephant in the room? Because especially the way how these critical game companies are now, how is this going to compete with Grand Theft Auto? And it's not to say that this is like exactly one for one and the same, but if you do mention that, oh, made by one of the original creators, you see you've already put in people's minds that they're going to compare this to that.
I don't know if that's public knowledge. Like they didn't mention it during the state of play, but it's like the guy that they spoke is like, if you like, you're like, hey, who's that? People who
do research will know that. But like I said, it has potential, so I'm open to see how it develops, and I'll just give them that fairness.
I will say I'm more open to seeing it than I am to what was that other game? Directive 8020, the thing in Alien in Space with.
That's interesting because that's that game that did they did them horror movie games.
Until Dawn in the Quarry.
Yeah, that's that.
I know. I know it's them.
I mean, like I said, bro, it scratches a sci-fi itch. Because like how you mentioned earlier, people are wanting that. So, I mean, we'll see how it works.
Does it though?
Apparently there is a big following for those type of games.
There's so like. I was a person who enjoyed Heavy Rain, right? For example, I know Heavy Rain is like, oh, Heavy Rain. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like these like quick time event
oh my goodness
things. Like I'm not mad at those type of things. I just think like when it comes to this era of maximizing your dollar, right? Of like, if I'm expected to pay full price for this game, which of course they probably will, it's like, am I gonna play a choose your own adventure game 3, 4, 5 times for the alternative paths when I know they're on YouTube? You know what I'm saying? Like, can I really in my mind justify spending this money on this movie game that's only going to give me so much replay value because it is a set story with only so many finite branches?
You're just going to have to make a game. That's it. Like, it has to be a game for that to work. Because it's not enough. It's not like I'm paying for cutscenes. Really?
Yeah.
It has to be a movie game. And if that's what you guys, if that should be its own type of genre. And to where it is what it is, and that's how it is. It has to be a game now because it's not enough. And the movie game should give you the budget to where, okay, this is nothing like you've ever played before. And then that could be the selling point. No, this is actually very good because there's like 50 tree branches of how it could actually end. And it could go left field in many ways.
Right.
That's the only way.
It has to have like 20 different endings.
That is the only way.
Yeah.
That is the only way.
And it's not to knock it, right? Like obviously, like Tim said,
and make it a challenge and challenge points. This ending's almost nearly impossible to get. Stuff like that. That's the only way.
I think to Tim's point, like obviously there's an audience for this, right? Like there's a reason why these games keep getting greenlit. I just think in terms of like from the, like you said, Jory, from the gamers aspect of like when I'm playing this with my controller and it's like, oh, you went left and not right. So Killer Claw, big stab, got you. It's like, all right, well, I think I'll just cut this off. Like, you know, like I don't I don't want to go through that dialogue again necessarily. Like
I think it goes back to what I said. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea.
Yeah, that's like I'm not gonna like knock it. I just think like that genre, like I'm genuinely curious to see like how well those type of games do sell wise, right? Of like for Sony to be like, we want to remaster Until Dawn. Like, did you really need to?
It's something that is obviously a market for, because look, bro, this is they've produced multiple ones.
Yeah.
And I feel like in this day and age, if you got anything past 2 to 3,
you did it.
You did something right. You did something right.
What do you guys think about Dreams of Another? The one where you're shooting the gun to create, using the chopper to heal, using the blicky to create. And
I didn't see that one. I did not see that one.
Yeah, it's who's developing it? Dreams of Another. It's Q Games, from the Pixel Junk company. They're making it for PS5 and PSVR 2. Scheduled for release this year.
Dreams of Another. No, I did not see that.
Yeah, but yeah, you're using.
Can we play it or no?
I mean, well, it's a VR title, so
it's gonna be developed for both, so you have the option of playing it both ways. Tim, we can't say that they don't support the VR2 when they drop a VR2 game. You're like, why are they dropping a VR game? You can't.
Remember that Star Wars Squadrons game? Remember that Squadron? Remember what happened with that? Is it for VR? Is it?
You can't say, where's the VR support? And then they give VR support. You're like, why are you dropping this game? It's like,
right, that was good.
What do you want them to do, bro?
That was good. Dog.
We asked for new IPs. They announced new IPs, but Tim's like, they're not giving the new IPs from the companies I want new IPs from.
Man. That's a flush, man. That's
so
a flush immediately.
We can't.
That's a flush, man.
No. Now I'm giving pushback, because we sit here on these pods and we sit there and say, we want this, and then they green light it, and then you're like,
all right.
Nah.
You're right. No,
we gotta set up
because
what?
Because it's like, yo, why now? When everything's going to cinder, you know what I'm saying? Why now? And then even your now doesn't even like your now doesn't do it, because it's like this is panic mode. This is panic mode, man. That's why I'm like, no, I'm not taking that.
It definitely was.
It's panic mode, man.
There were definitely vibes of this state of play that was like, there was definitely supposed to be a live service game trailer here, and they're like, hey, cut it from that. Reach it.
To be honest, bro, that's what I think this was. Like, you made up a very fair point. You could tell, like, due to the fallout of Concord, and I would just say this whole business model across the board, because it's hurting everybody. Mortal Kombat is in shambles because of it. Excuse me. Yeah, I just feel like
still don't know how that happened.
I think that whole focus has really shifted a lot, and everybody's just trying to scramble to present something else.
Yeah, I guess we'll
see. We'll see how it plays
There's
out,
no
bro.
resources for something else.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll see how it plays out, man. It's just as of now, this spring is looking pretty dead in terms of release.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things. It's. I think this spring is gonna be like, if you're into these particular genres, then you have something. But like in terms of what you're saying, Tim, is like in terms of more of like a wider appeal games, there's not many. You know, like we're gonna lose Jory for like a month once he gets Monster Hunter Wilds. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's a Jory game.
Like, no, I mean, the way I see it, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Oh well. But what I'm saying is like
that would be. Hunter, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah, like that would be a big release in like something that you enjoy, but it's not something like, yo, can't wait to jump on with you, bro. It's like, nah. You know. Is there any other games that we didn't cover that you guys feel like deserve like a conversation? Just based off a quick skim through.
I mean, Soros is Soros. I mean, you can only We can only really see like how that plays off. I did like some of the more quirkier titles, like the Midnight Walk, Darwin's Paradox, and even like this post-apocalyptic. I would say, I gotta say, are they demons type thing?
Hell is Us. Yeah,
that looks very interesting. I mean, but like I said, man, at least they showed variety, but I was just disappointed from the fact that I kind of felt like, as your first state of play for the year, where's your first party titles? Because I'm still looking at this website of all these people that you purchase, and what is the weight that you're pulling?
Right.
6.
PS6.
PS6. No.
You keep saying that, but I don't like. To me, and maybe this is just me like being loud and wrong, right? Like I'll walk it back if we end up, standing corrected. I don't think that the increase in PS5 sales that we've been seeing is a result of a strong gamer loyalty. I really do think a lot of that is spillover of like, well, since Xbox is pulling out of the race, I might as well get a PS5. I don't think we're seeing PS5 buying incentive is what I'm trying to say from Sony.
That's wild, man.
Like,
oh my god,
I want a next gen system. Xbox is not really gonna try anymore. Let me just get a PS5 because it's familiar and like I don't want any more loading times. Versus here are these must play, like, bro, you didn't play such and such yet on the PS5.
But hey, look, man. I still think they're gonna either do that for a great lineup rollout. Just have all these.
With what?
That's what I'm thinking they're gonna do.
What?
They're gonna have games. That's it. They're gonna right now this sabotage everything we're doing now. We're just gonna save it for the PS6. Well, release Ghost of Yote 7 times, then we'll convert it to the PS6, and then Days Gone as well.
Right, and we'll drop Intergalactic. It'll fry the chips on all of our PS5s collectively at the end.
Collectively, oh my gosh! No, I have to get a PS6.
Right, there goes my disc drive again.
That's exactly what we wanted, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mission accomplished. Good job, Neil.
Yeah. But yeah, dog. I just honestly think that that's what they're doing because it's right. What else can you do now? There's nothing. There's nothing you can do to make the PS5 a sell. It's done. This console, like it's done. Like Phil Spencer last week, 3 days ago. Hey, it's over.
I wouldn't say it's done. I just do feel like they're just like really like how we just said, they're relying on third parties to sell the system. Now the fact that one party has exited out the race, they're trying to bank off the fact that, well, all you got is us. Because when you really look at it, Nintendo, most people, I would say for Nintendo, they buy a Nintendo because of their niche-based games. Now, yes, if there is a certain port that's over on Nintendo that's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, people would still like, all right, I want something that's more on the go, so I'll get it on the Switch. Now, I wouldn't say it is done. I just would like to see, like, all right, in this particular year, we really need to see of all the things that you purchased, all the things that you acquired, where's the effort? Like, what is the output? What is the product? Like, for example, when Sony purchased Evo, like, they made a very, very big, bold step, but it's actually working out in their favor. Like, because like how you said, Jory, we lost so many community-based events that people used to look forward to, that level of communion. That is one of the still things that is left over. And honestly, bro, it's holding up well. It's holding up so well. Like, they took control of the fighting game community and they are holding it. They are now the king of the Iron Fist.
Whoever is in charge of the fighting game department
needs a
in
promotion.
Sony, you have to give him a promotion. It's just a testament to good leadership and understanding the needs of the people and understanding the needs for an ecosystem to flourish.
And you made a very good point, ecosystem, because even after that particular tournament is over, or even before or after that, they have PlayStation tournaments on their system.
Yeah,
like there's a whole section of tournaments, and it's not just for fighting games. They do it for sports titles. They do it for shooters. So like they're literally trying to like remember like how they said Xbox was better for multiplayer, but no, bro. PlayStation has changed over the years, bro. Like now they were trying to like really push into all those markets, and they're making some good headway. So that's why, like, even to go back to the outage, that's why that outage to me was very critical. Like, no, bro, you can't let that happen. Like, yeah, you can let maintenance days happen, and you let us know through a blog post, but just gone? No.
Yeah,
you can't do that, bro.
But I mean, I'm not sure if that's where George is trying to take it, but to me, like what I took of it being done, of like, I think we're seeing more moves with damage control than a combination that they know what they're doing. They knows what they're doing.
I think they're tapping out like this console. I really believe that they tapped out like, yo, we're gonna leave the PlayStation 5 alone. We're gonna slowly tap out. We're gonna keep releasing these things, and just people are, oh man, there's gonna be an article to where like, yo, the PlayStation got away with this. You feel me?
In 2
Sony
years.
got away with it, and then after that, they're gonna drop the PlayStation 6
with the red arrow pointing to a blurred out thing in the background.
Yeah, they're gonna make sure they drop all nothing but bangers. Right? They're gonna drop nothing but bangers. They're gonna do their best to drop with bangers. So like, hey, PS5, what about it? Look, you see this? Look at these games here. Huh? 60 frames per 120 frames per second.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's what I feel like they're doing. They're just doing a quiet exit. Phil Spencer already, took the barrel to the back of the head.
I mean,
so it's already.
But I also think you also got to watch technology as it's developing in terms of what I mean by technology, like media technology, because I do feel like with the PlayStation, they're trying to match certain things when it comes to media, like televisions and things of that nature. Like, because like I said, bro, like most of the stuff, like, oh yeah, the pixels and all the polygons and all that stuff, but does that really mean anything if you don't have the proper TV?
And even now, even with the proper TV, the console doesn't support it. Half these games aren't even PS5 Pro compatible right now, and may never be. So it's like all those polygons was all that beautiful upscaling they kept talking about. It's like I can't even see it. I don't have a Pro, but I'm just saying like you can't
unless
you can't
buy
even
the PlayStation monitor,
bro. The Apple tactics take over again,
and that's what I'm saying. I think that's the part we have to pay attention to, because I feel like they're really trying to connect their consoles towards their other media products, like their TVs. And I think that's where they're trying to really go to really, like how you just said, that Apple formula. They want to keep you in house in all areas. Headsets.
I mean, you can already tell, yeah. Like I said, the headsets, the fact that you can't use a third-party webcam on your system, it has to be a PS5 webcam. If you want to just use webcams, like what?
Hey, can I use this other webcam on my PlayStation? No.
Right.
No.
Buy more wires if you want to do all that. Oh God. Well, I guess I'll just
straight Spider-Man.
We'll see in time, bro. Like I said, man. I'm glad Ant is starting to see the light. Like backlog season.
Yeah, bro. It's just certain things. I'm like, if we're not gonna try, why do I need to continue to have active
PlayStation 6? PlayStation 6?
No, I'll just get off. No. I'm getting off the ship. This is the end of throwing my little Ryu bag over my shoulder. Yo, let me up right here.
PS6. Everything is going to be safe from PlayStation 6.
I drew the line with this console generation, bro. I would not want to invest into another console. Because like I said, bro, I really feel like we have reached a very pinnacle point in terms of hardware. And I'm just saying hardware alone, that you could ride this out for a good little minute. Just give us the games. Just give us the games, bro.
And they got about 3 more years to figure it out. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm with you. I would love to, again, use my PS5 for more than just fast loading times on games that are a generation behind. But like I have to, it has to be in front of me. I have to be able to play it.
That difference from the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I was like, oh
no, yeah, absolutely, it's great, it's fan. I'm just saying, but like, I'm like, I didn't buy a next gen console to get faster loading times, and that's it. Like, that's not what I had in mind when I unboxed the box. Faster loading times finally worth it. And then the last quick Sony topic before we move on to our next segment of the show. Do you guys do we take anything away from against, I guess, the creative director of Astrobot essentially running out of award speeches from the way Astrobot has just been cleaning up across the industry? Do we give any credence? Does this at any point open the eyes at Sony of like, yes,
Nope.
we are actually going to make more family-friendly games?
Nope.
Because there's rumors that they're going to drop an Astrobot PS5 bundle soon.
Hey, but guess what? That's just spam. You just spam. Like they don't. This is what I don't want to happen to Astrobot. I don't want a cattle prong. Come on, like give that game time to breathe and let it make other games. You know what I'm saying? This game has to move at a pace of the next Mario installment. It has to move at that pace. You got to give your creative times to be creative and recharge. I think also you need to give your this is a perfect opportunity to revisit certain things, give it one more try to make it better, and then if not, move on to the next thing before going back to Astrobot and spamming Astrobot to the point nobody cares about an Astrobot anymore, because it can very well happen.
I agree.
I don't want it to. I think they need to think about it. We're going to come at a pace. Let's not even think about the next Astrobot. Let's go ahead, guys, breathe, come up with concepts for another game that you guys want to make, and then we'll go on from there.
Yeah, I said one of the things I said on my stream, I was like, yo, did Sony forget that they own Fat Princess? Is that just like not a thing anymore? Is it gone? You know, like certain things like Heavenly Sword? No, there's no more of that, right? Just gone? Like just
I mean, well, Heavenly Sword is owned by
Ninja Theory.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then,
but don't worry. That company's gonna be disbanded soon. So don't worry.
But I'm just saying. I'm like.
It's in Phil's
again. If there was a time for a Jack and Daxter pitch, it would be now. I would think. Sly Cooper 4. I would think.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Sly Cooper
would work.
A lot of kids' childhood
would work.
That was a requirement. Sly Cooper is in everybody's home who has a PlayStation. Mostly. PlayStation 2, Sly Cooper's there. Hey, you want to play Sly Cooper? Yeah, man, I don't feel like playing. I don't want to play any shoot 'em up, bang, bang games right now. I want to chill. I want to relax. Play some Sly Cooper. But nah, no Rayman. There's not even those games don't even exist across the board, guys.
Yeah. Which I think these companies are trying to realize they made a mistake there, right? So obviously Sega's in the process of overcorrecting. We're about to get Sonic till we're tired of it. Because they're like, oh, you guys want mascots again? Well, here. You know, like I think we're about to get a lot more of that over the next couple of years. But you're right, across the board, it's just like even if you were to even mention the idea of a mascot character returning, everyone's like, that would never work, right? You're like, oh, Banjo-Kazooie. It's like, yo, little small 10 to 12 hour game, family friendly, and you call it, you know, like it don't gotta be 4 million sold out the gate, you know, type game. Just something that like builds gives buying incentive. Let's bring back the buying incentive. Give me a reason to want to buy this console, to tell my friend to buy a console. Yo, your kid is gonna love this game. Buy this console.
Well, if it didn't work with Crash Bandicoot, why would it work with this? I'm like, first of all, guys, you guys got to do a better pitch. That's it. You do it. Hey, you guys remember Crash Bandicoot? Huh? Like, don't give it boardroom meeting pizza day energy. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. If this is Crash Bandicoot, give us a Sly Cooper, not Sly Cooper, but a Ratchet and Clank touch. Then you win. People will buy the game if you do it right, man. That's all I'm saying. Astrobot did it right because they had passion behind it. You know? And
which again, shout out to them. Like, you know, again, given a year where we saw what happened to other passionate projects, right? Again, I keep going back to Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Like, you could feel the passion in that game, and y'all still got, you know, the boot. So I'm glad to see Astrobot at least get their
because moment. You know, because just because had a homie had dreads. Okay, that's it. That's crazy. Just because homie had dreads.
And rather than double down and really just like, nah, like, because the thing I've realized about games, especially when it comes to like what we were saying before the pod started with Tides of Annihilation, it's like, for as much as people complain about these things, we don't want this, we want traditional. It's like when you create something where they feel like they're missing out, they get quiet. right? So when you start showing Tides of Annihilation and it's more socially attractive protagonists with Devil May Cry-esque, Bayonetta-esque combat and Astral Chain Final Fantasy 16 mechanics, suddenly the room gets a little bit quieter. The internet chatter just isn't as loud because it's like, I don't want to sit there and like sit on my laurels and complain about a game that I might actually want to play. You know, I think that says something where it's like, you can't always like, okay, he had dread, so you're seeing the internet discourse and you're like, well, they didn't want it, so we got to shut down the studio. It's like, no, double down on it because he has something good here. Make a game that's so good that people are like, man, I kind of regret being racist online. I don't want to. I already robbed up my audience. I don't want to. Might have to hide my online status when I put this on.